How about we appreciate the status quo? All week, I've been working on trying to get ahead, helping some people to do better, trying to find ways to get better myself. But at the end of the week, I realized how strong and uh, how important status quo is in our society. Too often we say, well, we appreciate where we are, we appreciate the job we have, we appreciate our house, our home, we appreciate our family. And sometimes we have people that have ideas. They want to get out of the norm, they want to try something else. But I realized how important for some to keep the status quo in place. It's hard for me because sometimes I have all kind of ideas. I want to try something. And I remember when I was in geology, I remember my boss telling me that this is a great idea, but how about you go for a walk or sit down and you'll see the idea will go away. That was my first time I realized how status quo is important for people. Now, it depends on the group of friends you have, depends on the group of you work with. Everybody is amazing in their own ways. And we have to keep that in mind. So let's see. So you are agreeing that we have to appreciate the status quo, and it's amazing. Stability is great. Now, if you think of going beyond and saying, okay, having new ideas, to innovate, to want to be able to try something new, to shake the house a little bit, then you realize that it's not that easy. Because shaking the house, it has the opportunity to get everybody unsettled, to get a lot of people not sure about what the next step is. And that's when I think a vision is such an important thing. Having a vision gives everybody a chance to have the long-term vision of where we want to go, even though sometimes there's ups and downs and there's right turns, left turns, and so on. It's none of these easy feat. And I do understand that how hard it will be for an organization to have a common vision for 10 people, 100 people, 10,000 people. So what's the next step then? What are the plans? What are the ideas to appreciate the status quo, but still be able to maintain the fact that you're okay if you want new things. You're okay to have new ideas and experiment. So the first thing I would say is we need to find a way in our lives to have the stability we need to feel safe. So that means that it may be your house, your family, it could be your work. Is that one place where you know that regardless of what will happen, you know that it's a stable thing. You can always go back to it. Always find a way that if at some point it gets harder, you can always step back saying, okay, this is where I used to feel safe. It is where I used to feel that I knew where I was doing. I knew where I was going. There you go. I knew what I was doing. And there were very little questions about what was the next step. And I think it's important to have that reference point. Because too often, if you don't have that reference point, it may be much harder to find peace, especially if events in the day change all the time, people around you change all the time. You don't know where money comes from, and so on. Okay, so we need that reference point in place. Now, once you have that reference point, what's the next step? The next step to make you feel that, okay, I have ideas, I want to innovate, I want to try something new. Well, what I would say is keep in mind that reference point, but let's see if you can find a new group of people, a new group of friends, individual that will feel comfortable with change. So the idea is not to forget that you need a reference point where you feel safe and stable, but also have a group of friends, people that you can hang out with, ask questions, propose your ideas, just tell them ideas so that they can give you feedback about if that's a good idea, first of all, but also what they think you can do to help your ideas. And that's important because too often, if you are not finding groups of friends that have ideas to try something new, that have ideas to innovate, what happens is you feel that your reference point, you feel safe is important, but then you don't want to feel stuck. I do think that when people feel stuck, it means that they are where they feel happy, they feel stable, they know what's going to happen next. But then there's that idea that there might be more. And I think the best way to do that is to meet some other individuals. That's why I joined the Toastmasters. That was a way for me to meet new people with ideas and being willing to try something new. In that case, trying to find ways to do better speeches. This is why I've joined a group called Build to Serve, so the movement makers with Evan Carmichael. It is a group of individuals that have ideas, they're willing to try new things, they are willing to talk about how to make things different but better for them. So there you go. So reference point is important, but also having a group of friends that are there to be able to go along and improve your ideas. So what will be the third step? The third idea? Well, I would say that the third dimension to this situation is to have amazing friends to tell you that maybe either you're doing too much or to redirect your focus. And I would say that having a coach or having a mentor would help for that. Because we can do, let's see, who was it? I think it was Tom Bilyeu or maybe Ed Milet. They were talking about the fact that we can do anything. That's true. But we cannot do everything. And the reason for that is that's true. If we decide to do, for example, you want to fly a plane, you want to become better at a specific sport, you want to become a writer, a speaker, you want to be a coach, you need to be able to, I lost my train of thoughts. Okay, what was it? I don't like when that happens. Oh yes, you can do anything. So if you decide to do that, then you can make it happening by meeting the right people, by focusing, by getting better, by learning and specializing yourself so that you can do that one thing you want to do. For example, some people are playing piano and they're amazing at playing piano, but they may not be as good with other instruments. The other thing is, so this is the idea of you can do anything. Now you cannot do everything, because if you think of everything, you become a very good musician, a very good speaker, very good at construction, very good at piloting a plane, being very good at in politics. So what happened is that you end up with so many different ideas and steps that you no longer specialize, or you no longer have the time to be very good at one thing. There's nothing wrong with being a generalist. So for example, if you think a doctor, being a generalist is amazing. My family doctor is great for that. But you know what? He's a doctor, and he goes, and every so often he goes to the emergency room so that he can learn new things, and he's specialist in some specific aspect of medicine. So there's that generic part, but also focusing on one type of specific thing. I know he's not a mechanic. He doesn't fly planes. He is most likely not the most amazing visual artist there is, because he's focusing on a few specific skills. So here I think this is what will help us for the next step. So how do we appreciate the status quo? Knowing that we want to do a few things, we want to be innovative. So here I think are our 3 steps. First, make sure you have your reference point that you feel that you can feel safe, your family, your home, your group of friends, your job. Second, find a group of friends or other people that are like-minded, that are willing to push your boundaries so you can expand your comfort zone. That's important. And third, finding a coach, a mentor that can help you focus on specializing on a few important things for you. Because we can do anything, but we cannot do everything. On this, No, we can do everything, but amazingly well. That's important, because the more we want to do things, I don't want to undermine that, you know what, there's a few people on the planet that they are amazing at everything they try. You might know some of them. On this, stay with us. I'm going to share here a video on my playlist on my milestone journey, my milestone challenge to develop, because we want to grow, we want to do more. And I'm going to put on this side a video that you may be able to appreciate. On this, I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care.